when you read a particular passage or any line or any sentence, most of us, what we do, we just break it and then we read it. But that's not the way it should be. Even if it is going to be a long sentence, you should know where you need to pause, where you should just simply continue. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, usually that's a basic understanding that if there is any comma, you have to pause it, slightly pause. And then if there's going to be a full stop, and then you stop it completely, and then you begin again with the next line. But in case if the line is going to be pretty longer, you'll have to find out where to stop. So where to stop, how to find out? So you have to go with it based on the thought. For example, if I write a sentence like, let me just write it down for you. If I say that it's a great day, which we see now, look at that, there may be a sentence, or maybe, let me just write it down so that you will know. I'm just going to explain what a thought group is. Is like that, Mr. Rajesh, I'll just make it bigger so that it will be visible to you. For example, if there's any name like Mr. Rajesh, is Mr. Rajesh, who is a student, um, who uh, who is a student coming to visit us. Look at that. There's actually, this is an extra addition into this into the sentence. So that means you have to read like this: Mr. Rajesh, who is a student, coming to visit us. Look at that. There are three parts in this sentence, because this is a thought about an extra information. For example, if I take it, Mr. Rajesh is coming to visit us, or is coming to visit us. That's a sentence. But in case if you like to add any particular idea or maybe information about this person, what we do, we can just simply put a comma, add that little information. A singer, you can even say that, a singer, again a comma, is coming to visit us. Look at the sentence. This is what you got to do. This is a thought group. You may not expect the punctuation all the time. It doesn't matter, but it is a different thought group. Mr. Rajesh, you cannot just read it like Mr. Rajesh, a singer, is coming to visit us. That's not the way you should read it. You understand that? You have to go with the thought group. Thought group are nothing but based on the information. If you just take it off, then it's just one thought. And the singer is another thought group. One is coming to visit us, that is, or rather visiting us, whatever you can just say. Visiting us. So Mr. Rajesh, a singer, is visiting us. So that's the way you have to read it. And that's the way you have to speak as well. Or let me just give you another example. Let me just give you another example. Probably WhatsApp, which is a topmost, like WhatsApp. You can even put it like WhatsApp is a topmost application in the world. I hope everybody is familiar with the word WhatsApp, so I'm using that. But it is actually in some way spoiling the children. Look at that. I'm going to just part out different thought groups here. WhatsApp is the topmost application in the world. That is one thought group. Okay, and the second one, but you always use a comma. But it is actually another thought group. In some way, another bit, and this is another bit. Look at that. Look at that. So that means whatever the colors I've given, it's almost like I've given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors of that. That means you have to pause like 5 times. This is how you have to read it. WhatsApp is a topmost WhatsApp is a topmost application in the world, but it's actually in some way spoiling the children. Look at that, where I passed. Look at where I passed. WhatsApp is the topmost application in the world. I read it in one breath, and then I gave a slight pause. But because that's the word, you need to give a slight pause. But it's actually another bit in some way. That is again another bit that I added along with that sentence. Spoiling the children. Spoiling the children. So that's how you read it. So let's just try with a sentence. Um, so it's a common story. Let's see. This is the elephant. This is the elephant and dog story in English. Once upon a time. This is about it. Once upon a time is. This is just one bit of information. Look at that. Once upon a time is one piece of information. There was a royal elephant. That is another bit. And the next one, that used to reside at the premises of the king's palace. There are 3 bits in this part. Once upon a time, there was a royal elephant that used to reside at the premise. That used to reside. You can even put it another bit here. That used to reside at the premises of the king's palace. There are 4 bits that you can say it. No, this is how you have to. If you read it, the style, rather, what do you call it? The beauty of English is lost if you're not going to put a pause like this. Let me read it again. Once upon a time, there was a royal elephant that used to reside at the premises of the king's palace. So that's how you have to read it. And let me just continue it. The elephant was very dear to the king. Now this is again, very is an extra additional information or an adjective that is given to the elephant. The elephant was very dear to the king. So he is well fed and well treated. And now if you read it simply, student, kindly be quiet. Okay, so the elephant was very dear to the king, so he was well fed and well treated. So if you find any conjunction, you know these helping words. In the previous class, I was talking about the major words, the content words, or the stressed words, the most important words. They are the nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. But the helping verbs like conjunctions and preposition, in case if you think that if there is going to be a long sentence and in the middle, if you find anywhere a conjunction or a preposition, you can just slightly pause and continue. Or you can even just take a breath. If you think that it's a long sentence and you cannot read it completely, you just find where this conjunction is and find where this preposition is. And there you leave the breath, catch a breath, and continue. Like this, I'm going to say it. Let me just read it. The elephant was very dear. You can even say that. If you say that, you cannot even read the whole thing together like this. The elephant was very dear to the king. So he was well fed, and look at that, that's a conjunction. So if you think that the sentence is going to be pretty longer, find where a conjunction is. Find where a preposition is. There, you stop and continue. Now before the conjunction, before the preposition, you got to start and then start with the preposition or conjunction when you continue. So like this, I'll just go ahead and continue. There was a dog who again this is another, like I said, I explained like typing. It's an extra information that is added to the sentence. There was a dog who used to live in the neighborhood of the elephant shed. So you can divide this into 2 parts. He was very weak and skinny. He was very weak and skinny. He was always fascinated by the smell of the rich sweet rice being fed to the royal elephant. Look at that. It's a long sentence. I couldn't hold my breath. It's not that I couldn't hold my breath. For you, I'm just trying like that. Otherwise, I will just go with the direct way. And Like wherever you find, if you, that's the beginning. Like if you think that you're not able to hold the breath for the whole sentence, stop before the preposition. And once you master that, and what you got to do, you should not leave the breath here and there, but you have to slightly bend down wherever you find the preposition and conjunction in order to give the beauty, in order to give the rhythm to whatever you're reading. For example, he was always fascinated by the smell of the rich, sweet rice being fed to the royal elephant. It's like that. And then I'll just go ahead and continue. One day, there is a comma. Obviously, you'll have to pause it. One day, completely, you may even completely stop and move. One day, now, usually, now wherever you have this comma, it doesn't mean that you stop it completely. I'm talking for beginners. If you're an advanced, maybe you're a little the upper classes, the higher classes, you have to start like the one day the dog. I did not completely stop and take the take the breath. I continue. I just slight pause. I am holding the breath. It is there. I'm not leaving it. You have to. That's the voice modulation they call it. One day the dog. I didn't say one day. The dog could not resist. Not like that. One day, hold the breath. Don't leave it. One day the dog could not resist the aroma. I'm not able to, if you're not able to continue, then there's a preposition. You can say, one day the dog could not resist the aroma of the rice and somehow he sneaked into, even if you find any conjunction in the middle, you can also just slightly go down just right before the pronoun as well. So I've given you three clues: the pronoun, conjunction, and preposition. Just before these words, slightly go down and then rise from those helping words like pronoun, conjunction, and preposition. Like this. He liked to rise, he started coming daily to eat the rice. Look at that. He started coming daily to eat the rice. Slightly, before the conjunction, slightly dip and then pop up. I'm talking about the voice. He started coming daily to eat the rice. For days, the huge elephant didn't notice a small dog. Again, there is another as he conjunction. As he was busy enjoying the delicious food. Gradually, the dog became bigger and stronger. Let me just read it, the whole paragraph, and then we'll talk about it. Gradually, the dog became bigger and stronger by eating such rice food. He came under the notice of the elephant. I read it in one breath because it's a short one. The elephant used to enjoy the company of the dog and started sharing his food with him. Both of them also started sharing time with each other, and soon they made good friends. They ate together, slept together, and played together. It didn't take long when neither of them was happy without the other. They became great friends and didn't want to get separated from each other. And even in the middle, if you find any words like when, the WH words, you can also just you can give it a slight dip before those words as well. So what I explained to you is that, as usual, if you read it with full breath, wherever you have the comma, just after the comma, give slight dip in the voice modulation and then continue. And then wherever you have the full stop, you have to completely release the breath and then you continue. That's one point. Second, if you think that the sentence is a very long sentence and you will not be able to hold your breath completely to read it throughout the sentence, and if you have that kind of a situation, what you do, you can just try to, for a beginning level I'm talking about, you can try to leave the breath and catch up wherever you have this pronoun, preposition, conjunction, or rather, in other words, helping words or non-stressed words. You can leave the breath and then catch up with those helping words, and then you can continue. Okay, and if you get a little better, and if you want to be a better, or you just keep on training like this yourself for some time, and then Don't leave the breath. You have to read it completely. Once you start a sentence, you have to stop only at the end wherever you find the full stop. But in between, wherever you have this conjunction or the helping words or the punctuation, slightly dip your voice modulation and then you continue. So that it will give you the beauty. So I'm going to read it. You listen to it one more time. Then I'm reading from here. Then one day, a man saw the dog and asked the elephant keeper. I only read it completely up until the keeper. You understand that? I modulated it. I did not completely stop the breath. I continued by giving a dip here and there, like this. Then, one day, a man saw the dog and asked the elephant keeper. Look at that, how I modulated it. That's how you have to modulate it. Like wherever you find the comma, dip it. Wherever you find the helping words, dip it. Slight dip. I'll continue. I want to buy this dog because since it is a conjunction, like the punctuation exclamatory mark, you have, I want to buy this dog. Or you can say, I want to buy this dog. What price do you seek for the dog? It's a question. Wherever you have this question mark, you have to leave that kind of feeling or emotion of question, like, what price do you seek for the dog? It's a question, meaning automatically it demands an answer. Now the first one, I want to buy this dog. It's an exclamation. It's emotional, kind of a surprising thing. And the second one is it doesn't demand any response when you say like I want to buy this dog. The next one, what price do you seek for the dog? It's a question. Automatically, when you end it, that emotion you have to blend with the sentence, expecting the listener to answer. The elephant keeper didn't own the dog. Still modulated, dip it. Still, he sold the dog and dip it again because there's a conjunction and extracted some of the money. You can even say like some of the money wherever you have this. Extracted some of the money out of this deal, like go directly. The next one, the man took the dog to his home village. I read it completely here, and then I give it dip here because it starts with another piece of information added to the main sentence. Let me just go ahead and read this. Okay, the man took the dog to his home village, which was quite far away. The king's elephant became very sad after this incident. Look at that. I give a dip here because it's a conjunction. Now, the king's elephant became very sad after this incident. He dismissed his friend a lot and started neglecting everything. He didn't want to do anything without his dear friend. So he stopped drinking, eating, and even bathing. You may also, okay, here, continuation. Ultimately, the elephant keeper reported this to the king. However, he didn't tell anything about the dog. The king had a wise minister who was, again, you have to dip it here. The king had a wise minister who was known for his understanding of animals. At once, the king asked the minister, go to the elephant, uh, go to the elephant shed and find out the reason for the elephant's condition. The intelligent minister went to the elephant shed and found the elephant very sad. So you have to dip it here because it's a conjunction. He looked elephant all over and asked the elephant keeper, there's nothing wrong with this elephant's body. Then why does he look so sad? I think this elephant is grief stricken, possibly due to the loss of the dear friend, due to the loss of the dear friend, or due to the loss of the dear friend. You can also modulate like that. So it is up to your style, like your character. They say that there are so many studies been done on this. Your real character, your real nature will pop up when you read a sentence, when you read a sentence. But if you read it very slowly, you would sound much matured and your character will reflect on it. If you read faster, you're a person who doesn't have any patience. But if you read it very slowly, then you're a person with a lot of abundance of patience. So You have to exercise patience whenever you read it, not very faster. Okay, but remember all these, whatever I just said, and then you follow it. Let me just try with anybody, if there is anybody who's going to try this. Um, okay, so is there any volunteer who would like to read this particular paragraph? The elephant keeper told the minister. This one. Anybody? Any volunteer?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
Ihan, I want
Yes,
to do it,
please.
sir.
Yes, start. Anybody? Anyone?
Sir, the elephant keeper told the minister there was a dog who used to
There
eat,
was a
sleep,
dog. No, no, you give a dip here. There was a dog who used to eat. Look at that. You have to give a dip between.
there was a dog who used to eat,
Very good. Eat, sleep,
sleep, and
and
play with him.
okay, very good. Continue.
He had been taken by the stranger 3 days ago.
Very good.
The
Next.
minister went back to the king and said, Your Majesty, as per my opinion, the royal elephant is not sick, but
Very
he
good.
is lonesome without his dear friend,
The dog.
the dog.
Okay, very
Do
good.
you know where the dog is? Asked the king. The elephant keeper informed that a stranger took him away and he didn't
Hold
know
on,
about.
hold on. Look at that. No, it's a small. It's not a very small sentence. You can try to give a pass here. You can say like this: the elephant keeper informed. Don't give the air completely down, meaning don't leave it. From there, hold the breath, modulate it, give a dip slightly. The elephant keeper informed that. I hold the breath. I don't release it. The elephant keeper informed that
So,
a stranger took him away. Yes.
yes, sir.
Yes.
The elephant keeper informed that a stranger took him away and he didn't know about his whereabouts.
Very good. So he said, very good. You read it wonderfully. Then the other thing that I would like to introduce is reading or giving more volume only to the content words. Content words are nothing but stressed words. For example, noun, verb, adjectives are all content words. You get that? But the remaining words, you have to lower the volume, which I already talked about in the previous class. When you say, how can we bring is a main word, so you have to give full volume. And then bring back again. Back is an adverb. So I get a main verb. My, you should not say my, no, mine. Like this. How can we bring back the elephant's friend and make him, not make him, no, make him happy again? Your Majesty. Start from here. Your Majesty.
Your Majesty,
No,
make a
no,
declaration.
no. Hang on. Your Majesty. Not Majesty. It's Majesty. Your Majesty. You read it?
Your Majesty,
Yes.
Your Majesty, make a declaration that whoever has the dog that used to live at the royal elephant's shed will
Okay,
be
great.
penalized.
Okay, sorry I interrupted you, but so whenever you just hold the breath, you have to read it completely. Wherever you find the full stop, then you have to stop it like that's how you have to release it. Until then, in the middle here and there, you have to give a dip here and there. Where to give the dip? In between, like just before the helping words. What are the helping words? Preposition, conjunction, articles, or sometimes you can even give breath wherever you have this when, what, where, the WH words. Like how you read was, which line was it? Okay, here. Your Majesty, you completely left the breath, and then make a declaration that whoever has the dog that like that you I didn't say you literally did so. I only meant that you completely drop the air. No, dip and continue like this. Your Majesty, make a declaration that whoever has the dog that used to live at the royal's elephant shed will be penalized. You understand that? You completely hold it, float the air, and give a dip here and there. Don't lose it completely. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe it's just the beginning. I understand. I'm not saying that you're doing okay at this stage, but it's just it's an art. It'll take some time for you to pick it up. So it's okay. You're going good. Go on. Continue. Here, the king did the same. Read it.
The king did the same, and the man who took the dog instantly turned him loose when he heard the proclamation.
You can also give a dip wherever you have the be verbs like is, was, were, like these be verbs. Wherever you find the be verb, just before the be verb, just give a slight dip. Dip, I mean the rhythm, the reading rhythm, the voice, the modulation I'm talking about. Slight dip means dip down, not dip up. Dip down and raise up. That's how you gotta do. Like for example, the elephant, give a dip, was so delighted to see. Look at that. That's a beaver. Look at that. The elephant was so delighted. Before there was, between elephant and was, I gave a little dip. Dip down and raise up. Volume. The elephant was so delighted. Dip means just a fraction of second stopping. Not even 1 second, fraction, like 0.1 percent of stoppage between the word the elephant and was. The elephant was so delighted. Look at that. Was so delighted. I just give a slightest pause. You don't even feel that I'm giving a pause. That is called the voice modulation. If you if you don't have this kind of a voice modulation, the beauty will not come out of your English. So don't think that it's something that you can get overnight. Now, whatever you have observed today, you just go home and then you have to just start musing about it. Rather, start thinking about it and then take a piece of paper or maybe a newspaper or something, Hindu or the Indian Express or something. Start trying it. Try to give a pause just right before, not a pause, slight dip, just right before whatever the word categories that I told you, be verbs and the WH words and the preposition, conjunction, and preposition, conjunction, pronoun sometimes, yeah. So you need to give a little dip here and there. If you give dip, then that's going to generate beauty or pleasantness from your voice, and that would sound uh, pleasing when it is heard. So that's what I'm trying to say.